Okay, spring yard maintenance. As you can see, I dethatched it. Okay, dethatching is a good idea because it pulls up all this dead or dying crap. You can see there's a lot of thatch in this lawn. You can see how terrible it looks after you dethatch it. But anyway, I dethatched it and I also aerated it. You can see here's one of the plugs here. The reason, normally the dethatching, I only do that at every 2 or 3 years. Bee garden. I need to shoot this. As you can see, there's a few plants coming up. Mostly bulbs. Spring bulbs. There's some crocus. There's some crocus right there. You can see there's a lot of area where it's just dark dirt. None of that's been planted yet. But there's a few plants coming up. As you can see, nothing exciting. Can't believe this guy's already flowering. He had already flowered once, and then the frost killed him, and he's flowering again. But anyway, all these plants out here obviously are for the bees. Well, not the bulbs so much, but all the other plants that'll be flowering will be for the bees. Now you may say, well, how come he doesn't say what those things are? Because I have no clue. I planted so much stuff. But anyway, you can see how move the camera too fast. Sorry. You can see how but anyway, the idea of dethatching, get rid of all the dead stuff so the lawn can breathe better. And the idea of aerating it is obviously helps it breathe also. And you can see the cheap wheel here broke off the dethatcher. Yeah, can't fix it. Totally broke, so I got to see if I can find a new wheel. But anyway, so dethatching breaks up all the dead stuff, pulls it up so the grass can actually fill in better. The aerating, if you have compacted soil, that's really the only reason that, to me, you really need to aerate, is if the soil is compacted. And obviously, this lawn hasn't been aerated in quite some time. Then you have the observatory over there. I have to do the backfill, yep. But you have the observatory, and the concrete truck pulled in right through here. All right, you can kind of see where it's been compacted, the two dark strips. He pulled right up through here. I filled it in with dirt last year because the concrete trunk, needless to say, truck really sank. And none of this is growing yet, but that was covered by the pallet for the dome. But anyway, you can see that he did some pretty good sinking right there. He sank there and right here. So anyway, all this soil was heavily compacted from the concrete truck, the guy that delivered the dome tractor. When I was, every year when I plow the garden under, which needs to be done, I haven't done that yet, the soil on the end gets really compacted from the tractor. And the same thing down at that end. Still have a lot to do, so I got to bust my butt this summer. Get all this done. I still have a lot to do over there. You can see that looks like hell, but I didn't finish it yet. That's the extension for the garage right there. But anyway, so that's why you aerate. If your soil's real compacted, you want to aerate it. Loosen it up a little bit to loosen the soil. Now what I'll do is I'll leave all this dead stuff. You can see how terrible, the lawn looks terrible. You can see how terrible it looks. So I'll leave that on the lawn for a day or two, depending on the weather, for it to really dry out and start to crumble, let the sun beat down on it. And then once that's done, then I'm going to mow the lawn within the next couple of days. Yep, and there comes the calico. Got to see what I'm doing. Anyway, the fertilizer I use for the lawn is Lawn Restore. It's a natural fertilizer, because I don't believe in using chemicals, chemical fertilizers and that. Mainly because, well, one, I just don't. And there she goes. Oh, anyway, I use Lawn Restore. It's a really good fertilizer. I've used it for years on various houses where I've lived, and it's like 30 bucks a bag. I buy it on Amazon. Price fluctuates anywhere from 30 to 46 or 50, depends on who's trying to rip you off. But anyway, it's a natural fertilizer, and when I do that, I'll explain more on that. I just wanted you to get a shot of the lawn. I just wanted to get a shot of the lawn where it's been dethatched, and yeah, I know, sweetie. But anyway, you can see how terrible it makes it look. But dethatching, very good to do in the spring. You don't really need to do that every year. It depends on your lawn. You may have a lawn without thatch, but obviously this lawn has a lot of thatch in it from running over it with the tractor and the equipment, and packed it up pretty good. So anyway, that's the reason you dethatch and aerate a lawn. And then when you fertilize, after you do it, when you fertilize, it allows the fertilizer to actually get deeper into the soil right away, because it'll go in the where the aerator pulls the plugs out. Fertilizer can get down in there, so usually I dethatch, or excuse me, yeah, dethatch, aerate. You can do them, one right after the other. You can thatch first or aerate first. Doesn't really make a difference. I aerate first, then I dethatch.